1.5 million, what can I get for that?
This unit got sold for double the price. Okay, you can never go wrong with anything waterfront. But me personally, I had definitely no clue.
Did you move into a villa straight away?
No.
Welcome to the Elite Way podcast, your go-to audio experience, getting you acquainted with the wealth, the freedom, and abundance that is created every single day in the Dubai real estate market. We will bring you the voices of real estate practitioners who have their boots on the ground every single day, helping investors just like yourselves to make sense of this dynamic real estate market in Dubai. Today, we've got a guest. He's got his boots on the ground every single day talking to investors just like yourselves. So stay tuned as we discover Henry and his passion in real estate and what he's been able to create and where he sees the market going. Henry, welcome to the Elite Way podcast, bro.
Thank you so much for having me, Cole. That was such an intro, you know?
Yeah, it's the first time
Class.
I had to read it, but it's the first time. But word for word, if I read it or not, it's still the truth. You know, we've got our boots on the ground. I'm a broker. You're a broker, and we talk to people every single day about investing in real estate. You say it quite often. We don't sell chocolates, mate. What we sell doesn't melt in the sun.
True.
You know, it makes you money. I hear Henry on the phone. He's very passionate because he knows that what he wants this client to realize is what he's putting in front of him or her is going to get them to where they want to be and help them achieve what they want to achieve. And it's really interesting listening to you on a phone call, bro.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah, bro. Let's dive into sort of getting to know you as Henry a little bit more. Yeah. When did you come to Dubai?
So I came to Dubai back in 2013.
Okay.
I actually came to Dubai here to study. I was a student and
student?
Yeah, I was a student. I came to Dubai as a student, you know, to study.
Did you go to university?
University here, yeah.
That's
I went
crazy.
to an Australian university here. They have a campus here in Dubai. I studied telecommunication engineering, which is quite funny now because I'm in a career that has nothing to do with engineering, but you know,
telecommunication engineering. So what would you have done
if I wasn't doing real estate today? I would probably be doing real estate today.
He just doesn't see any other way. If you were to complete your studies and you were passionate, what does a engineer in telecommunications do? What do they do?
So
do you know?
Usually, I mean, what I was told that they do, because I just majored into it, and while I studied, my dad actually just thought that it was a great idea. You know, it might be good to just have one of my sons be an engineer. Yeah. My dad is also into construction as well, so he was the one who kind of like sold me the idea. But me personally, I had definitely no clue about like
what you're getting into,
what the job was going to be like. I mean, I know like engineering has to do with a lot of like technicalities and, you know, but I never knew like exactly what I was going to do. If I
was absolutely no passion for it. No,
like, to be honest, like
future insight, like not seeing yourself there.
To be honest, no. And you know, like
how old were you in 2013?
When I started 2013, okay, I think I was in my early 20s.
Okay.
Early 20s. Somewhere around maybe 20.
So in your early 20s, you moved to Dubai to study. Did you move here alone? Did you have friends or family here?
I moved here by myself. Absolutely have no family here.
Okay.
I mean, I did have one friend that we graduated college together back in my home country, but he was the only one that I knew here.
Okay.
And I moved to Dubai. But,
so the two of you. Yes, and I like to ask these questions because it's good for people who are looking to get into the profession that we're in, because it is quite a glamorous lifestyle that's being shown on TV and stuff.
Yes.
But in the beginning, it's really hard. So did you move into a villa straight away?
No.
When you came here and drove like a Bentley, like what was your experience?
I would be lying if that was the way it was for me. You know, it was absolutely very difficult, especially because it was something that I had never done before. You know, it was my first time being in real estate, but I would say I had it a little bit like much better than I would have
Okay.
if I wasn't working in the first company that I was working with. Because the owner of my first company that I was working with was actually my classmate. You know, he was actually a classmate of mine.
So wait, a real estate company that you started with. So
Yeah.
did you finish your studies?
Yes, I
You
finished.
finished your
I
studies, and
finished my
after
study.
that, you started in real estate.
Yeah, somewhere in between when I was about to finish, then I started to like have an idea because the company was owned by my friend. So he gave me the flexibility to like show up
Like part
anytime,
time,
get
sort
an
of.
idea of what's happening, be on the field sometime and still study, So I had that
That's nice.
flexibility. Yeah.
Okay.
So he really supported me, to be honest. So shout out to him wherever he is now.
Yeah. Give him some
Yeah.
roses,
His name
man.
is Zachariah. Wherever you are, Zach, if you're seeing this, thank you so much for the opportunity. And
Zach Attack. Love
yeah,
it.
yeah. So he really helped me a lot because he started off quite good.
Yeah.
So when he came to Dubai, he was my classmate, but he didn't finish
So
engineering.
he saw the real estate
So he saw the
opportunity.
opportunity, and then he left.
Okay.
He left school, and then he started up a company. And I remember someday he came to see me when I was on the campus, and I saw him. He had this latest G wagon, and we were in our early
Woo!
20s, And I was like, "What's going on? Like, is this something?
Are you a telecoms? Are you a telecoms
Are you
engineer?
are you telecoms?" And he just came. I remember he patted me on my shoulder and he was like, I always used to tell you that, entrepreneurship is always the best thing to do. I started my own company. I said, "What is it?" He said, "Real estate." I was like, "Real estate? What are you doing? Are you the one building the house?" Because I don't understand. He's like, anyways, I can
No clue.
explain
Like had
everything
no
to you.
clue.
What
Yeah.
I can do is that, I'll offer you an opportunity to come by once in a while and, work part time with us
Yeah.
and you can have an idea and all. So obviously, knowing that the job is actually on commission basis, I didn't really get the idea. For me, it didn't really make sense that someone could actually work on a commission basis. For me, I've always been sold the dream that you need to earn like a fixed salary. I remember that I was doing this internship it was a recruitment company. That was my first ever job I ever did. But I am a very confident person on the
Yeah.
phone, especially when I know that what we are selling, it's actually a good product. So I remember I used to be on the phone, banging the calls, speaking to a bunch of clients, and I closed a lot of deals, within the company. So my business development manager was quite impressed with me and my services and all. So they kept me there. They were looking to even employ me full time. But along the line, after I was like 3 weeks into the job, out of curiosity, because this is how this is how we learn.
Let me just see.
So I said, let me speak to a few people there. I wanted to know like how much they earn and how is the life going for them and all. I remember that I spoke to my colleague who was also a business development manager, but she was working full time. As the was her salary, and she told me it was around 7,000 dirhams. I mean, no offense to anyone who's making that. It's a fantastic salary. But, for me, I felt like there's much to life than earning that every month, especially considering if I'm like, did I just go through 4 years of engineering just to come out and earn this much?
Yeah.
So I was like, so what's the most do you expect to make in the next 10 years? It's like, oh, they're going to increase my salary by 2 more thousand. And, bro,
So that was just not
that was
cutting
it.
it for you.
That was when I just made up my mind. I'm like, you know what?
Dad,
9 to 5 isn't my thing. So when I went to real estate, bro, I went there with my two legs in, There was no
boom,
looking
you
back.
just
I knew
dived.
if it wasn't real estate, it wasn't any other thing again. I knew it was definitely it. So I never had any doubts.
So that would be 2013, 2014, 14, 15, 16, so 2017.
Yes, was
when
exactly
you
when I started
when you
my full
transitioned.
time, yeah.
Did you have to call your dad and be like, "Yo, thanks for"? Did he pay for your studies?
Yeah, he paid for everything. Shout out
So
to my dad, very supportive father. He gave me a good life. And while I was
I
in
love that.
Dubai, I had the best that.
Oh, amazing! And so that is honestly amazing. So
Yeah.
did you have to like call him, or you're such a respectful person?
Yeah.
You would have called him out of respect, but
Yeah.
did you sort of call him and say, "Dad, I'm actually going to not do what I studied," or did you have a
Yeah,
conversation with them? How did that go?
At first, it was a little bit disappointing because he wanted me to be an engineer because that's all he paid for. So he wanted me to graduate and come out and be this engineer that he wanted me to be. But I found passion now in my newfound career, which is real estate. And it was very difficult to actually explain it to him and make him get the idea that real estate is a promising career, especially because for the first few years, you really don't make a lot of money. So he was like, I told you real estate is not a good job. Don't you want to go back to engineering? Look at you. You're not having the best life. I mean, look at what engineers are doing. But I saw the bigger picture. I knew from then that it was a job that needed you to spend some time because you needed to build your network of clientele to be able to, sustain yourself and even get bigger and better once you've done the job for quite a long period. But I did my best to explain to him, but he didn't get it. Sooner or later, he started to get it.
So would he like call you and say, "Hey, how much money have you made?" "Oh, I haven't made any money yet." Like, and then he's like, "My son, I told you."
Like African parents have a different way of doing things. They like to
Nigerian fathers.
They like to see things. They don't like to hear. They believe in action. It's like, don't tell me all these things. Show me. You say you're doing well in real estate. Da 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 da. Show me.
Send me the money.
Just show me. What it is. But 3 years. 3 years into my career, then obviously started to see like the physical manifestation of the job and all, and yeah, I started to get a bit impressed. And since then, he never really spoke to me about it again or ever doubted me being in the industry. So yeah, that's how it's been.
That's 3 years of proving it to yourself and then needing to prove it to your parents, because it's a hard industry to be in. Definitely. And then it's a hard position to be in, to make the people that are the closest to you also believe in what you see in your spiritual eye, so they can't see what we see, and our vision is almost crazy to most people. And I think it takes a special person to see the opportunity like you saw it.
Yeah.
Did it take you like 3 years to really see, which is not a long time at all, to see the fruits of your labor?
So the fact that, I believe I'm a firm believer in seeing is believing. So when I got into the job, I was working for a company called MKG. This is the one that was owned by my friend. I also had a few colleagues there in the company as well who were doing excellent. Like I could see it all.
Yeah.
So this was not like someone selling me the dream and telling me that it's a good job, whatever. I've seen people who've been like 5 years, 6 years in the industry. They also told me the same thing, that when they got into the industry, it wasn't as easy as people deem it to be. It was also difficult.
Yeah.
But 5 years into their career, I mean, look at what they're doing. Look at how much successful transactions they're able to do. Look at their network. Look at how much they're making now. So I definitely knew that it was a business that needed time. So I gave it that time. I took the leap to give it a chance, and see how it goes, But yeah, I'm glad I made that decision, because it's paying off. It's paying off now.
Mate, your name recently changed. Your name recently changed. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? Say it with me. Everyone else, you're watching this video. This is Mr. Full Floor.
Actually, it was a recent transaction that I did. Basically, it was a full floor deal in a major.
Ooh, that rings different. That rings different.
I did with a major developer here in Dubai.
I love that.
So many stories behind the deal, and I'm happy that it turned out.
Was it easy to get that deal over the line? Was it easy?
To be honest, just touching back on what you said about like like this quote that you just like there are certain steps that you need to go through before you get to certain milestones.
Okay.
Some people just see that you've achieved that milestone. They don't see what you did to get to that milestone. So and then it comes to them like as if it's that easy. All I have to just do is do this, and it's gonna come. But there's certain process, there's certain things you need to do before you get there. So just putting that deal into perspective, if I were to say how long that deal had took me to execute, it was actually, you can say, between 2.5 to 2 years of touching base.
2.5 to 2 years.
Yeah, touching base with one client. And, remember there was a first launch that came up 2 years ago. I spoke to him about it. but he told me it wasn't the right time to invest because it was just coming into Dubai and he wanted to really have a feel of exactly what was happening. And but he did mention to me that anytime a good opportunity comes, I should always let him know. And the second year again, I found a great opportunity that would make him like loads of money. Still the same situation is like I'm trying to settle down in with my wife. We're living in a villa community now. We want to see what the life's like there. Then we'll decide if it's going to be there, we're going to buy a property, somewhere else. So if it was someone else, probably they would probably stop, offering the client, more investments or more opportunities.
What do you mean? If it was a different agent?
If it was a different agent, it would have been like, I've offered this guy the first time. He always keeps telling me, maybe he doesn't have money. Maybe, like a lot of things, a lot of doubts might come into your mind.
What we've been experiencing and we've done ourselves.
Yes.
We're like, this guy's not serious.
This guy's not serious. Let's just. But
I wonder how much business we've lost because
honest,
of
definitely. I think
not communicating and not building a relationship over time.
Consistently.
Because we want instant gratification.
This is it.
I interrupted you, but
it's okay. Definitely, what you're saying is very valid. Because we seem to we don't understand. I mean, we do understand that being consistent is good, but once we have a new hot client and then we get not distracted, but then we tend to forget about the other relationships
very
true. We need to keep alive and also sustain while working on the new clients, and that's how you build an army of clients, that you could carry along on your career. You could make business with all of them. But then just fast forward to this year, I found another great opportunity and I was like, look, it's a great opportunity, great capital appreciation, could make fantastic return on equity. I explained the whole figures of the product and all. So the thing is that he then mentioned to me that he wasn't ready for this, but then he's going to speak to his friend about the opportunity. And, he spoke to the friend got convinced about it. The figures made sense to him. I had a Zoom call with them. I explained everything because his friend wasn't quite fluent in English. So I was doing the whole explanation, breaking down the figures, breaking down the stats for the projects and all. And he was translating it for me in Spanish.
Oh, wow.
And then we did everything. That same day, the client was convinced and then he went for it.
Wow.
So he went. We were just discussing about just one apartment or two at most. And then he was like, for the value and the price that this property has been offered for compared to where he's at now, because he's living in Spain at the moment. So he's trying to look at the price per square foot.
Converting
it. And
seeing where the value really is.
This is such a great product here. And the price per square foot is unmatched in such a waterfront community. And what?
So is he an investor in Spain?
Is that what he does? Investor, global investor. He invests in Spain, in the States, and UK. So he's quite familiar with the global market, but it's his first time investing in Dubai. So went from 2 apartments to, booking a full floor.
So I remember when the deal got done and we asked you what happened, and you pitched or spoke to this guy, sent him another message like you will usually do.
Yes.
Like you will usually do, you've done consistently. Have you consistently kept touch with him over the last 2.5 years?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So then you sent him like you always do.
Yeah.
And just for some reason, maybe last night he spoke to his friend about real estate in Dubai, and the next day, as you usually do, uncalculated, sent him another great opportunity.
Yeah.
And it just happened that it was the right time, but I don't want to credit it just to the right time. I want to credit it to consistency, following the process, learning from regretting not doing it, because that's wisdom right there. It's like, if you don't learn from it, it's not wisdom, and you'll keep doing the same thing over and over until something happens where you need to change.
Yeah.
So you learn from regret. You continue doing this tedious thing, presenting opportunities to someone you have been rejected by before, but you didn't give up. There's this quote while you were saying that, that this is a full floored deal, but it took you 2.5 years, proverbially speaking. There's an artist, right?
Yeah.
Who does beautiful paintings. I think it's Vincent van Gogh. They say if people knew how long it took me to paint, they wouldn't think I'm that great.
Oh, that's deep.
If they knew how many attempts it took for me to make 1 million dirham, make 2 million dirham, make 3 million, whatever, make 100,000 dirham,
Yeah.
they won't think I'm that great because you see this painting as this guy is so good at painting.
Yeah.
But do you know how many times he had to repaint and rethink and remix and exactly the same for us? You know how many times Henry had to go back to this guy and not be pushy and be pushy because it's a good product and have no response.
Yeah.
It's
True.
not like he replied every time,
100%.
you know,
100%.
and then it happens and then everyone thinks you're great. Like, I'm actually not that great. I actually just followed fundamentals and principles that I learned over time that actually got me this result, and then got myself renamed to Mr. Full Floor.
You know,
Another thing that I wanted to get into is the location that you service. I obviously know, but people don't know that your primary focus is the primary market.
Yeah, yes.
Why is that? Why don't you work in the secondary market as often? You obviously dabble in it if you have a client, but what's your biggest reason for working in the off-plan market? And this can be a very selfish answer.
Yeah.
You're allowed to have a selfish answer.
To be honest, I look at it from the perspective, the buyer of the product, you know, the clients who are asking for this property. If you really look at off-plan investment, it's such a great opportunity because, first of all, you're entering at a great price.
Okay.
It's the first interesting thing about off-plan. Your entry price is somewhat below what the market price is. Because that's the whole idea of off-plan, yeah?
I just said to him, this can be a selfish answer. And he doesn't say, because the commission's good. he talks about the benefit and value to whoever he's dealing with. Anyway, sorry, that's my first thought. Just carry on.
Because, what you're saying is very valid, but then we have to look at the customer first before we think about ourselves, because without the customer, we wouldn't be here.
I love that of you, Henry.
So it has to be them first. So I always try to look at a product like I'm the client. What is it that I would be interested in? So when you look at off-plan, the entry prices is quite good. You have flexible payment plan. This is another thing again as well. And then you have also a flexibility of payment. So in as much as you have flexibility of payment, you also have flexibility of exiting with a great return on equity. You could make.
Awesome. I haven't thought about it.
Yeah. So if you really look at it from both perspectives, it's a win-win.
So we just spoke about, sort of touched on payment plan. So question that comes to mind is, in your opinion, what is the best sort of payment plan structure that a investor, so this would be a two-part question. The best sort of payment plan to follow as an investor who wants to sell this property prior to handover to make a profit, and what is the better payment plan for an end user that's going to buy this off plan with the idea to move in? Are those payment plans different, or the same payment plan would be advantageous for both type of buyers?
Okay. So we'll take it one step at a time.
Yeah, one step at a time. So the first one, the best type of payment plan for an investor who wants to flip.
So for an investor who's looking to flip, you need to look at a project that offers a payment plan where you'd be paying less during the construction.
Less during construction.
So at most, usually most developers in Dubai, they usually do 50-50.
Okay.
This is the most that you can get. Or some could go as far as even making it 40-60. So basically you'll be paying 40% during construction and 60% on handover. So what that's going to help for an investor who's looking to flip is that you would be paying less during the construction. So let's say you're on a payment plan of 40-60.
Yeah.
So basically you will be paying only 40% of the principal amount that you've invested during the construction phase. And this construction phase could be over the course of 4 years.
Okay.
So which is quite flexible, because then it gives you a less amount to be paid during this time frame to be able for you to maximize. So you're paying less and you're making more.
I get it.
So the amount of money you need to invest and make more is it's more than someone who was.
I love that because my clients are saying, I want to pay as little as possible, but have the same upside than somebody who paid all of it.
Yeah.
So that's what you're saying is a payment. So payment plans that give you 50% during construction, 50% on handover, instead of 80% during construction and 20% on handover.
Yes.
So that's more beneficial. Or you're saying there are some projects out there where they only require you to pay 40%. So do you have to see that 40 or 50% through before you can resell, or what's?
So what most developers do is that they would ask you to, especially major developers like the top tier developers, they will ask you to pay up to a certain percentage before you can resell.
Okay.
Well, a lot of like this second tier developers, they're okay with you reselling at any point in the payment plan.
Okay.
So you can resell after.
So with EMAAR, at what point can you resell?
EMAAR, it really depends on the project, to be honest, because some of their projects, take for example for EMAAR Beachfront, for example, on Dubai Harbor, most of the address buildings there demand you to pay 50%. So if you're looking to buy an address product, although it's fully sold out now from the developer, so if you're looking for a unit there and address any of the address branded buildings on Dubai Harbor, you'd have to go on the secondary market. So usually most developers, you just have to pay what the current buyer has paid and the premium on it, and then you move on. But EMAAR has demanded that any new buyer who's gonna buy into this address building would have to pay 50% upfront.
Okay.
Plus the premium before they can.
So if I'm the investor and I've only paid 30% and I want to resell it, the new buyer needs to pay that extra 20% that I haven't paid, plus the profit that I'm looking for in order to transfer.
Be able to transfer. So EMAAR would have to give you an NOC before you can be allowed to sell the property.
Would there still be a benefit? So who buys resale units? End users or investors who are looking to flip again? What I'm trying to figure out is, why would an investor buy a resale unit if his intention is to flip it and he needs to pay, the profit plus the 20% that's still outstanding?
So the
bit of a technical question.
Yeah, it does appeal to both the end users and the investors.
Okay.
It all depends on the entry price, because the only reason why someone will be willing to pay 50% upfront is definitely because of the entry price. Because the entry price will be definitely much lower than what the developer might be selling on primary market.
Right.
So the thing about it is that most developers tend to give you more flexible payment plan, so you can just pay your normal 25% and then pay 5% every 6 months, whatever. But then your entry price is much higher.
Okay.
So it's like
we're doing this podcast.
Yeah.
But I truly never thought about it like
that.
Like truly never thought about it like that. Because, and all that I'm like thinking in my mind while you're saying that is like Sea Point, 1 bedroom, 3.1 million.
Yeah.
Palace Beach, ready 2025, August, 2.4 million.
Yeah.
But I'm paying a premium.
Yeah.
On
already.
it.
Yeah.
I'm paying a premium, so I'm paying more than he's paid, but I'm paying significantly less than the same size. Sort of 1 bedroom on the same island.
Yeah.
Significant. I'm paying like 600,000 less than I would if I had to, because I want the payment plan from the beginning.
Yes. So basically,
that's clever, man.
Basically, you're trading a flexible payment plan for a lower entry price.
Okay, bro.
So you have two options. Either you trade.
I'm like, yeah, no, I love this.
Either you trade a flexible payment plan for a higher entry price, or you trade a more rigid payment plan for a lower entry price.
Okay.
I
love that. So and some of these buildings still have post-handover payments.
Yes,
so you don't even have to pay the entire, value, the initial value to the developer. Like you've got a 2-year post-handover payment plan. That's interesting. So with regards to, the second question there was, what type of payment plan makes sense more for an end user?
Yeah.
But I think, just trying to use my own brain.
Yeah.
It really makes sense to go for 50-50 or 40-60 as well, because I can finance. If I'm a resident, I can finance
Exactly.
80%, or if I'm a foreigner, I can finance 50%
Yeah.
of that value that's needed
Yeah.
on handover. So that makes sense. When we look at like type of investments at the moment in the
Yeah.
market, it's quite rough out there,
Yeah.
bro. One project a day. One project a day. Okay, multiple projects on a daily basis, but if you stretch it out over the year, there's one project a day, so it's 365 projects this
Yeah.
year that's going to launch. And we're not going to go into supply, demand,
Things like
oversupply.
that.
I've addressed that on some videos
Yeah.
already. If you want to talk about that, there will be a link in the description of this video where you can book a 30-minute meeting with Henry here, and he can consult you through your next investment decision. And that link would be in the description. So it's a busy market. People are very confused on what to purchase. You know, there's too many options,
Yeah.
so they struggle to make a decision.
Yeah.
For investors right now, what are you recommending? Okay, let me give you more information. I've got a 1.5 million dirham budget,
Yeah.
and I don't necessarily need to move into this place. 2025, 2026 is fine, but I do want to take handover.
Yeah.
And I, like everyone else, probably I work in downtown or I work in
Yeah.
Business Bay or, somewhere more that way. I'm going to use it. So it's an end user thing, but I also want to make sure that I'm buying something that's going to appreciate
Yeah.
in value,
Value.
regardless if I'm living there or renting it out. What locations are hot right now? What should I consider? I have no limitation
Yeah.
in terms of, and I have no preference on area.
There is something.
What is your go-to recommendation for me for a two-bedroom apartment, 1.5 million on a payment plan?
2 bedroom or 1 bedroom, or you just have a budget of 1.5 and you want to
One
just
1.5 million. What can I get for that?
what can you get for that? The thing about Dubai is you can never go wrong with anything waterfront, because if you really extrapolate, look at the entire market now, you realize that some of the communities that have achieved the most capital appreciation or the
Yeah.
most return on equity has to be the waterfront facing project. But in terms of what you're looking for as your budget, the community that would be suitable for you is Dubai Island. I think it's one of the most underrated community. Although the investors that know, they know, but it's one of the most underrated community now in Dubai. Prices there
Why?
are super cheap.
Super
Like
cheap.
the price per square foot there, I've never seen such prices before. The last time we saw this on the market
For an
was maybe
island product.
6-7 years ago. We're talking about an island with beach access, so much facilities and amenities, just less than 10 minutes away from Dubai International Airport. And you're actually located in Dubai's economic hub,
Wow.
which is there where you have the dairy, because that's where the real economy.
Yeah, that's the real economy.
So
what can I buy there? Like a one-bedroom apartment?
a one-bed apartment now, easily with 1,450,000, you can get a one bed for around 825 square foot.
That's good size.
Yeah, good size, very modern apartment. 5 minutes walk to the beach. You're actually located in front of the upcoming mall.
Is this Prestige?
Yes, this is the Prestige One development that is still upcoming, and
I missed that briefing in the office.
Yes.
Actually missed it.
It's such a fantastic product. One of the cheapest price per square foot for a project located on the island. And a lot of people don't seem to really understand the idea behind Dubai Island. They just think, oh, it's far away. Some people say, oh, it's Dera. I'm like, and so? What human beings live in Dera? No.
Yeah.
Actually, you have
70%.
some of the richest people you find in Dubai have businesses there.
Our Iranian businessmen.
The Indian business people, they have their business of general trading, supply, distribution, all in Dera. The major warehouses there, all in Dera. And if you look at Dera as a community, as a location, they don't have any freehold. A lot of freehold projects.
Right.
So Dubai Island, it's the closest freehold community that you have next to this hub. At least, if not for end use, you should blindly buy it for investments.
Blindly.
Because you cannot go wrong with it.
So why is it such a good investment? Like, So it's waterfront. It's an island. I understand that, but so prices are going to increase.
Prices are gonna triple if you want to ask me, because take a look at it. People say it's far. Let's look at it now. Extrapolate. Look at the whole situation.
Talk to me, bro.
Yeah.
Talk to me.
Dubai Island to downtown will only take you 25 minutes to get there. Yeah. Location. People who say it's far. Yeah. Palm Jumeirah. If you're living somewhere on the crescent, it's even going to take you longer to get from there to downtown.
It is.
So tell me, what do you mean by it's far?
Yeah. And you can't buy anything on the Palm Jumeirah for 1.6 million.
Go ahead and tell me more. Go ahead and tell me more. Dubai Island, if you're listening to this, Dubai Island is the place. If you have a lot of liquidity and you're looking for a right place to invest with a huge capital appreciation, you need to go to Dubai Island and buy multiple units. Buy it there and just forget about it. Give it some time.
And you don't even spend all the money that you have because you've got payment
plans. Yeah.
What's the Prestige One payment plan? Can you remember?
I believe it's 65-35.
65-35.
This is the payment plan.
Post handover?
No. Yeah, you can't get the cheapest price and then get a post handover. Like,
oh man. But he's a EMAAR Beachfront bro. Like he doesn't go into the desert. He doesn't go desert vibes. You talking about beachfront?
Yeah.
You specialize in EMAAR Beachfront.
Yes.
Why?
Because I like to put the client first, and I want a location where my client is going to achieve the highest capital appreciation.
Confident.
They'll be able to rent their units, make good rental returns, and if they eventually even decide to venture into short-term rentals, they would make a killing there. Like, they would make a lot of money.
I can see that, man.
Yeah, so it ticks all the boxes.
How many buildings are there going to be? Like 23?
Around 21.
21 buildings.
Hotels 21 coming on the harbor.
Just on the EMAAR Beachfront Island.
EMAAR Beachfront Island. We plan to have at least 21. So including the ones that are on the, should I say, the trunk. As you're coming into Dubai Harbor, it's on the trunk where you have the new Cavalli by
Damak Bay.
Along that trunk there, they plan to have a lot of other upcoming buildings.
Okay. They're selling parking lots and putting buildings on there.
No one knows yet what's going to happen, but
Omniat. All I'm saying is Omniat.
We're not so sure what it's going to be, but we're looking forward to hear what the news
Omniat. Omniat. I'm telling the people right now. You came here for first-hand information. Omniat. It's going to be very expensive. Most people won't be able to afford it.
Yeah.
But Omniat's launching there, bro. Did you know?
Yeah, I heard.
He doesn't want to say. I'm telling the world. Omniat probably is going to. They're going to shut us down. It's 2024. We get cancelled.
Wow.
I just wanted to ask another question that came to mind for you. Is you're a closer.
Yeah.
And you're a consultant. I want to know about clients who have used you as a broker.
Yeah.
And have actually made money.
Yeah.
Where has a transaction like that happened before? And tell us a bit about that transaction, and not necessarily how much, but just a story around that.
So I did have a client who, it's quite an interesting story, yeah. So back then Miras launched a building there in JBR.
In JBR?
It was La Vie.
This
was a long time ago. Like, you say 4.5 years.
Is that the one that just handed over?
Yeah, I handed over last year.
Okay.
Last year in November. So back then they were selling one bedrooms for 1.5, 1.6 million dirhams for a one bed.
Bro.
That was actually facing the JBR community and all. So back then it was like it's an insane price for a one bed. Because then you had 2 bedrooms then in the older buildings like the Sadaf, the Rimals and Shams. They were selling for the same price. So
1.5 was crazy for one
bed. Like, literally, you really had to.
I'll take it now any day.
You'd have to perform magic to make an investor believe that this was such a great investment. But I explained it to the investor. I told them the potentials regarding to it, because I like to work with a lot of market research and understand the product that I'm selling. If you really look at it, at that point in time, I definitely knew that when this building would hand over, it will definitely be the thing there, because in JBR most of the buildings are old, and there was a huge demand for private beach access buildings,
Yeah.
buildings with direct beach access.
Direct. So this building has direct
beach
access.
access on from the building, and something that is also a bit more than brand new.
Okay.
It was a niche market that needed to be tapped into at that point.
So there aren't like really newer buildings than this
They
one.
were not new buildings, and it wasn't even a thing back then.
Residential.
Residential. It wasn't even a thing then for people to buy units and upgrade it because no one was willing to pay the premium for the upgrade. So it wasn't even a thing then, you know. So there was a huge demand for new.
Only 4 years ago.
Only 4 years ago, and this unit got sold. Okay, sometime he sold it. I think the third year in the payment plan, he sold it for double the price. Okay, for double the price. So he literally sold it for double the price, and he only paid how much? 40%.
40%.
40%.
Was it a 40-60 payment
Yes,
plan?
yes. So imagine
Am
paying.
I understanding correctly? It was a 40-60 payment plan.
Yes, it was a 40-60 payment plan. So most of the people.
So on handover, he sold it. He didn't even pay.
He didn't even pay the complete 40%. He was on maybe 35%.
He didn't make double.
He made triple.
A killing.
Then if you really look at it, and then
return on equity.
And now the new client who bought it just resold it. He literally made 50% of what he invested. So it's just like you can never go wrong with Dubai, man. Like,
and I love that you tell this story because it goes exactly what you said earlier when I said I want to buy something.
Yeah.
And you said water bodies.
Yeah.
And on beachfront.
Yeah.
Because it's so expensive. They're creating water bodies everywhere else.
Yes.
But again, to your point, you can't go wrong buying on the ocean.
You cannot go wrong in Dubai because it's such a small niche market in Dubai. You don't really have a lot of water bodies in general in Dubai. Like, look at the Palm Jumeirah. It's fully developed, and developers are creating new water bodies now. So there's just a few more water bodies, and the entire waterfronts will be fully built. So,
but what they're doing now is they're building more islands.
More islands. So what they're doing, like what they did on EMAAR Beachfront, no one saw it coming, was that they went on an island and they fell it. Same concept with what they did on Palm Jumeirah, and people bought into I remember they had investors do the same thing. Oh, price is so high, this and that, but people bought it and they doubled their principal amount that they invested.
Yeah, I think it's going to continue.
And it's even EMAAR Beachfront as we speak is still very, very much undervalued. I was on a viewing with a client a few days ago, and she was saying, will the prices still go up? I said, of course, it's still going to go up, because if you're looking for a prime beachfront community,
where do you go?
With this price, where do you go? If I'm offering you a 3-bedroom
and new,
if I'm offering you a 3-bedroom in a community with private beach access for around 6.5, 6.9, and you say it's expensive, then try go to the Palm, go on the Crescent, and touch the same 3-bedroom. They'll be telling you 20 million, bro. This is the price the developers are launching for, and they're getting sold out
like that.
Short time frame. Yeah. Where do you want to get it again? There's no other place to get it.
Omniat's launching 2 bedrooms.
2 bedrooms
for 40.
Okay,
million.
Tell me more. So when you say EMAAR Beachfront, I said it's still very, very much undervalued. If you enter EMAAR Beachfront, even at this stage where they're saying that, oh, it's super expensive, it's a bubble, it's gonna explode soon. It's all, for me, I believe it's all crap, man. The prices are still gonna appreciate more, because what's gonna happen is that people will go to other water bodies like Palm Jumeirah, and once they see the prices there like insane, they wouldn't mind to even pay slightly more on what EMAAR Beachfront is asking and move in there, because the concept is the same. You all have great access into Sheikh Zayed, to the major places.
I think like EMAAR Beachfront is such a, like, once the primary supply stops,
it's gonna skyrocket.
The moon, bro.
It's gonna skyrocket.
It's an island. You can't build more. You can build more islands, but there is an advantage to be first.
Yeah, you can build more, but people also forget some key factors. That prices are only getting more expensive because of inflation.
You'll never start the next island at the same price.
Definitely. Price of building materials are getting more expensive. You cannot tell me the price of building materials now and what it was 5 years ago. It's definitely much more expensive. So all those key factors contribute to what the developer will possibly charge. So if you see all those prices going up with inflation being at all-time high, definitely you will not be getting units or new island which will be built tomorrow at the same price per square foot as what you're gonna get now in EMAAR Beachfront. It's like you're investing at the right time if you enter now.
Did you see how things changed when we started talking about EMAAR Beachfront? This guy's passion, his passion is on another level, and he knows his shit. Like, that's really important to work with somebody that knows their shit. Bro, thank you for spending the time with me.
Definitely a pleasure. Definitely a pleasure for having.
I hope you had a
this
great
conversation.
podcast experience, your first one.
Fantastic. It was an amazing one, and I hope they enjoyed it.
We don't hope, bro. We know they're going to enjoy it. We know they're enjoying it.
That's fantastic.
Solid, my bro.
Great.
Thanks, bro.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, Collis. Thank you. All right. Sweet.